Maharaj-ji's English Hanuman Chalisa inspires good thinking. This is a story about an English rendition of the epic Hindu prayer, the Hanuman Chalisa. A yatra is a spiritual journey. My personal pilgrimage with this chant became a yatra at the Neem Karoli Baba ashram in Taos, New Mexico. It was completed 6 months later at Ramdas's memorial at Hanuman Gardens in Ojai, California, January 18, 2020. This presentation is offered in grateful memory of Sri Siddhima, K.K. Shah, and Ramdas. The Hanuman Chalisa is a 40-verse hymn to Hanuman that is sung or read to remind him of his powers. Hanuman symbolizes selfless service and always remembering God. The Chalisa was written by Tulsidas in the 16th century in Awadhi, a type of Hindi. Sri Siddhima, Ramdas, and Krishnadas have all said the Chalisa holds special blessings for Maharaj-ji's Neem Karoli Baba's devotees. Krishnadas reports Maharaj-ji said 2 striking things about the Chalisa. The Hanuman Chalisa has the power to change fate. Hanuman Chalisa, every line of Hanuman Chalisa is Mahamantra. My experience has been when there are health problems or bad things happening, the Satsang is encouraged to chant Hanuman Chalisas. Ramdas has been a guide and true guru brother to me since I first read his book, Be Here Now, in '72 when I was 19. The next year, I was introduced to the Hanuman Chalisa and the Ramayana in Ramdas's Love, Serve, Remember box set, which included 6 vinyl records and a booklet. I was not immediately drawn to the Chalisa. Instead, I immerse myself in the full range of Ramdas's teachings, including lectures, retreats, a private class, meditation practice, and kirtans. Years later, I was setting up programs for him, first in Massachusetts and then in North Carolina. Over the years, I became more drawn to singing the Hanuman Chalisa. Beginning in the 1980s, I loved the opportunities to travel to the ashram in New Mexico or to New York City to chant Hanuman Chalisas with people. At the celebrations, we would repeat it 108 times, and it would take 11, 12, or more hours to complete. By 2004, on a trip with Ramdas to India, I had learned the words in Hindi. I felt a special blessing when Nina invited me to lead Chalisa singing at Maharaj-ji's shrine. Mother, Sri Siddhima, cared for Maharaj-ji's devotees after he left his body. She encouraged us to deeply reflect on the meaning of the Hanuman Chalisa. Mataji encouraged me and others to sing the Chalisa daily. A few years later, I visited her again in India. I told her I sang the Chalisa to her in America. She said, "Don't do that. Sing it to Maharaj-ji." In 2015, I began to learn of a story. An American Sadhu from the Ramananda order, Ram devotees, who spoke fluent Hindi, met Maharaj-ji in Vrindavan for the first time in 1971. He was called Sadhu Ramdas by Maharaj-ji's devotees to differentiate him from Baba Ramdas. One day, Maharaj-ji asked him to make a translation of the Chalisa into English in order to help the Westerners. Inspired by Tulsidas, he not only made the translation a poem, but patterned the rhythmic structure of the poetry in the same cadence as the Hindi Chalisa. I first learned of the story of Maharaj-ji and this English Chalisa from a website of Von Paul Manley. He is a current student of the author, now Ramdas Lam, Ph.D., a professor of religion at the University of Hawaii. I loved and marveled that the Hanuman Chalisa could be sung in English. I have a complete confidence in my pronunciation and an easy understanding of the words. Still, with over 40 years of being in this community, I had never heard of this story, so there was some doubt. I explored with older satsangs such as Raghu, Ramesh, and Krishnadas, KD, who confirmed they knew Sadhu Ramdas in Vrindavan. Krishnadas shared of a story about Sadhu Ramdas helping to introduce drums and instruments into the chanting at the Neem Karoli Baba ashram there. A little while later, after a sound check before a concert, I asked KD for a green light to memorize and go deeper with Sadhu Ramdas's version of the Chalisa. He and Ramesh had made their own translation back in the day, and he didn't remember this one. I gave him a laminated copy. He went through the text, line by line, comparing it with his understanding of the meaning. At the end, he gave an okay. I asked about line 37 and how there was only one hail instead of JJJ. KD really liked that Lord of my senses, which is the actual meaning for the word Gosai, was used. In December 2016, my friend Blue Mountain made a video with Von Paul, Shar of Enchanted Hearts Kirtan, and myself singing this English Chalisa at the Ahimsa Sanctuary Farm in Haiku. While here, I discovered something very interesting. Von Paul lived near Ramdas and had sung Maharaj-ji's English Hanuman Chalisa there a few times at kirtans. It blew my mind that the only other active practice of this chant was at Ramdas's house in Maui. One of Ramdas's most heartfelt visions was to have a suitable temple constructed in America for the Hanuman statue, Murti, that he had commissioned in India after Maharaj-ji left his body in 73. This picture was taken before the Murti left India. It was properly crafted with the guidance of Sri Mataji, Rabhu Joshi, and Ramdas. In Jaipur, it was sculpted from marble, painted, carefully packed, and shipped across the ocean. It arrived in New Mexico in 1978. Now, in 2019, Ramdas's dream became manifest. A few years after his stroke, Ramdas had vowed that he would never leave the island of Maui again. However, in the spring, to everyone's amazement, and with even more health challenges, he insisted and was determined to return to Taos in July to celebrate the opening of the new Hanuman Mandir. Living out west, I was looking forward to driving to New Mexico and seeing many friends in Satsang for Guru Purnima. As plans developed, I learned the Hanuman Mandir would be inaugurated, and Ramdas and many more people attending. This was just amazing. People from all phases of my adult life arrived. It was great fun, hanging out, talking, eating, and chanting lots of Maha Mantras and Hanuman Chalisas, with deep healing inner work happening. During the celebration, as I sang Maharaj-ji's Chalisa with a few devotees, Punya, who was part of the ashram leadership team, listened. Afterwards, we spoke, and I shared the Neem Karoli origin story. As I was feeling inspired, I wondered about singing it 100 times in English at the ashram. He thought it possible. The Yatra inspiration began. I had sung the Hindi Chalisa many times 100 rounds, even a few times by myself, but never in English. How about singing it with people too? The details of all the Yatra components are on the next slide. Maharaj-ji's English Hanuman Chalisa Yatra. Sing the English Chalisa 100 times at the Taos Neem Karoli Baba ashram this year. Sing Maharaj-ji's Chalisa 108 times with people and keep track. Make pilgrimages to Hanuman temples in California and ask permission to sing this. Sing Chalisa in Hindi or English by myself whenever I would like. Don't keep track. Sing Chalisa in Hindi with others. Reach out to the author of this translation. At Jai Uttal's Kirtan camp August 5th through 10th in Marin County, I shared both Hindi and English Chalisas. At the LA opening of Ramdas's Becoming Nobody movie, September 8th, Vivekananda, an original Neem Karoli Western devotee, noticed my hat. We met, had a nice talk. Then I sang the Chalisa in English. He whispered it in Hindi. Dear Guru brothers from left, Sita Ramdas, Jai Ram, and Hanuman Das all sang in this yatra. Dasima and I got to visit in Taos. Later in Maui, we sang the purple Hanuman Chalisa in both English and Hindi. On September 28th, at the 11th Annual Interfaith World Peace Pilgrimage, after taking the ski lift and hiking up Mount Baldy, we shared an English Hanuman Chalisa above the clouds. We were all friends in Durham, North Carolina during the 1980s and met again in LA November 10th. During the visit, we sang an English Hanuman Chalisa. Catherine, Sita Lezoff, and Howard J. July 23rd, I met with Sita Callahan at her home in Shell Beach, California, and we sang at her puja. A real blessing of this yatra was meeting Dr. Lamb in person and learning more. Over 2 years he visited Maharaj-ji on many occasions. They would speak together in Hindi about Ram Bhakti, as well as the importance of the Chalisa and devotion to Hanumanji, he shares. One day I brought along a small book that had a commentary on the Chalisa and asked him to write in it for me. He wrote Ram Ram in Devanagari, and then said to me, translate it so they can understand. Since this was Sadhu Ramdas's first attempt at making a translation of anything more than a few sentences from Hindi to English, he developed self-guidelines for his interpretation. Number 1, making it devotionally accurate for Hanumanji. Number 2, respecting Tulsidas, he wanted to write it in a poetic, rhythmic style. Number 3, per Maharaj-ji's request, make the translation with clarity for the English speakers. The yatra continued to temples with Hanuman Murtis. In California, I visited 4 Hindu temples for this practice, in Watsonville, Ventura, Torrance, and Laguna Beach. Prior to arriving, I contacted each, and all agreed for me to sing the Hanuman Chalisa in English 11 times for about 75 minutes. Lincoln, without the blanket in the middle picture, joined me in Torrance and Laguna Beach. Sankat Mochan, reliever of suffering, Hanuman Temple at the Mount Madonna Center in Watsonville, California. The Hindu Temple of Ventura County has 3 Hanuman Murtis, including the Darbar. Sri Panchamukha, 5-headed Hanuman Temple in Torrance, California. Lincoln and I chanted 11 English Chalisas, and then we joined the pujaris for 2 more in Hindi and an arti ceremony. The Kali Mandir in Laguna Beach, California, has both a large Hanuman Mandir and a Neem Karoli Baba shrine. During this yatra, there were some incredible chance meetings. For example, on the shuttle bus going to the LAX airport, I had my Ram cap on my knee. I turned and noticed an Indian woman across the aisle. I said, "Jai Shri Ram." She was happy and responded back. Veena shared she was from Ojai and had noticed my hat and is a Hanuman devotee. In no time, we were doing a quick 5-minute Hindi Hanuman Chalisa on the bus. My girlfriend Mimi just smiled. After returning home, we sang together in this yatra with her family and dear friends Mark and Asha Lee, who are original students of J. Krishnamurti. I learned Ramdas had spoken at Krishnamurti's foundation in Ojai. This yatra began in July in Taos, inspired by the Neem Karoli Ashram, Hanuman-ji, and Satsang. Then I returned on October 26th with Rick Ramirez and Paul Langan from North Carolina and a few local satsang. We completed 108 Hanuman Chalisas, 100 in English and 8 in Hindi in 11 and a half hours.
With the pollen of the rose lotus seed, I cleanse the mirror of my heart and sing the pure virtues of Lord Raghuvir, the bestower and rise for fruit. Knowing this body Shri Shri Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki Jai!
Thank you, Vasu.
In Maui, December 1st, with Stever and Satsang at Here Hanuman, we sang 5 Maharaj-ji Chalisas and many Hindi ones. Maharaj-ji's Chalisa and a visit with Von Paul, December 3rd. He shared one of his favorite English Chalisa insights and pulled out another book of Tulsidas's. Vibhishana, listen closely to your word, became Lord of Lanka, known throughout the world. Did I know what Vibhishana learned from Hanuman that caused this great success? No, I didn't. Briefly, in my words, Vibhishana had deep self-esteem issues, no self-worth. He lived surrounded by disgusting demons, ashamed, not good enough to offer God anything. Hanuman replied, "Look at me, a monkey, truly reviled throughout the world. If I can worship and serve God, you can too. We are okay the way we are. God loves us. Just offer God your devotion and service." A healing took place. A view of the Pacific from Avatar's Point at Mayor Mount. At the office is a painting of Mayor Baba's visit here in Ojai in 1956. Singing Hanuman Chalisas and remembering Ramdas at Mayor Mount, December 29th. Mayor Baba was Richard Alpert's first guru until a parting of the way in the mid-60s. Always, though, there was a great deal of love between them. In 1967, then Dr. Alpert went to India and met Neem Karoli Baba, who in a moment, forever memorialized in Be Here Now, transformed his life. Later he gave him the name Ramdas, servant of God. After many years, the weekly Hanuman Chalisa group of the Bhakti Yoga Shala in Santa Monica was able to change to Tuesday evenings. On that auspicious first Tuesday, January 14th, I shared Maharaj-ji's Chalisa with everyone singing. At the same time in India, our dear Guru brother K.K. Shah was cremated. In 1967, K.K. was told by Maharaj-ji to take care of Ramdas like family. K.K. loved Ramdas so much. You can see it in the pictures. K.K.'s love and care spread to Ramdas's students. We are also thankful for that. In 2017, I visited K.K. at his home in Nainital and sang this English Chalisa for him. He enjoyed it, but I really choked up with emotion. On January 18th, finishing this Yatra with my 108th English Hanuman Chalisa with people. Later in the afternoon, I was invited to share a few of my experiences with Ramdas. Ramdas and KK's memorial at Hanuman Gardens in Ojai. A few personal insights from this Yatra. The Hanuman Chalisa is a living teacher if we choose or it chooses us. In the opening prayer of the Chalisa beginning, knowing this body to be lacking in wisdom, I meditate on the wind god's son, is very reassuring and inspiring. Speaking for myself, I know I make mistakes. I know life can be full of uncertainties. With the opening prayer, I am asking for help and, in addition, receiving it to be a better person. Line number 7, the words, tiring never. When I did English Chalisa 100 times in Taos, these words inspired my practice with a positive energy throughout the day. Line number 20, difficult work, wherever it may be, by your kind blessing is done so easily. Part of line number 22, what is there to fear when you are protector? In times of big life changes, such as we find in 2020, these words strengthen me, boost my spirit, and feed my soul. Line number 34. At the time of death, the Lord's abode is one. Any rebirth will be of pure devotion. Originally, I looked at this as a future-focused issue. When I die this time, my next life will be of pure devotion. Now I have a new understanding. In past lives, I, as well as others, have sung this Hanuman Chalisa, and now this life is the bhakti path. Line number 39. For those who read the Hanuman Chalisa, perfection is attained. The witness is Shiva. There is no pressure from the Hanuman Chalisa for one to memorize it. Simply reading it is enough, quite enough, really. Shiva certifies it. It is not too easy to chant an English Hanuman Chalisa. KD has critiqued chanting in English in general because it is the same language we drive ourselves crazy with in our heads. To sing the Hanuman Chalisa in English, one needs to read the words. This can be a very different experience when one is already familiar with the words in Hindi. Also, if one has regularly sung the Chalisa in Hindi since childhood and now speak English, the words translated exactly do not form complete ideas. But I do have one more positive insight to share with you, even with all these challenges. Hanumanji understands English. Keeping track. Singing 108 Maharaj-ji's English Hanuman Chalisas with people. Jai Śrī Ram, Jai Hanuman. Hanuman Chalisa words, translations, and so much more. Krishnadas.com, NinaRaoChant.com, nkbashram.org. On the next slide is a complete recording of Maharaj-ji's Chalisa made this year. Nina Rao helped organize a day-long live stream of singing Hanuman Chalisas during the quarantine with leaders all over the country. She asked me to sing it in English and a little more slowly. The music of Beethoven's Ode to Joy works with both translations. I gratefully offer a special thank you to all my friends, Satsang, the yogis and Hanuman devotees who join this yatra with me by means of singing, listening, sharing stories, pictures, or videos. English Chalisa Yatra, EnglishChalisa.com update coming July 4th, 2020. Link to a 90-minute audio interview with Vasu and Sadhu Ramdas. Link to an English Chalisa text in 2 pages. There is a 1-page copy there now. Namaste.
With the pollen of the Guru's lotus feet, I cleanse the mirror of my heart and sing the pure virtues of Lord Raghuvir, the bestower of life's 4 fruits. Knowing this body to be lacking in wisdom, I meditate on the wind God's Son. Give me strength, wisdom, intelligence, remove my faults and afflictions. Hail the refuge of the feet of Sita and Ram. Hail Hanuman, ocean of wisdom and virtue, awakener of the 3 worlds, monkey lord, hail to you. Unmatched in power, messenger of Ram. Anjani's offspring, the wind God's Son. Valiant Mahavir, body like lightning, dispeller
of ignorance inspires good thinking. Golden colored body, clothing so fair, with rings in your ears and very curly hair. Lightning bolt in one hand, banner in the other, sacred grass thread worn across your shoulder. Avatar of Shiva, Kesari's the lighter, your radiant glory is adored the world over. Storehouse of knowledge, virtuous and clever, absorbed in Ram's work, tiring never, ever immersed in the stories of Śrī Ram. You're present in the heart of Sita, Ram, Lakshman. Donning a minute form, you appear to Sita. Then in giant form you burn down Lanka, mightily destroying demons every one, ever fulfilling the work of Lord Ram, bringing sacred herb to revive Lakshman. You received a joyous embrace from mighty Śrī Ram. Raghupati lovingly extolled your merit, saying, you're as dear to me as brother heart. It would take 1,000 mouths to sing your praises, saying, so Lord Ram held you in his embrace. Sanaka, all sages, even Lord Brahma, Narada, Sarada, along with Ahisha, Yama, Kubera, and others try to praise you. How can a poet ever hope to describe you? To enforce to grieve a very great thing, you brought Ram to him who made him a king. Vibhishana, listen closely to your work, became Lord of Lanka, known throughout the world. Traveling many miles, you went to the sun, thinking it a fruit to eat when you were young. Holding in your mouth Lord Ram's precious ring, you sailed across the sea, which is not at all surprising. Difficult work wherever it may be, by your kind blessings is done so easily. At the door of Ram you are the guardsman, no one can enter without your permission. All joy is gained by those in your shelter. What is there to fear when you are protector? Such is your power, only you can handle. Hearing your roar, the three worlds tremble. Ghosts and evil spirits can never come near to one who repeats the name of Mahavir. All illness is dispelled, suffering gone by constant repetition of thy name, Hanuman. By Hanuman's grace from all troubles free, for those who remember you in thought, word, and deed. Greatest of all is ascetic King Ram, all of whose works you have easily done. Whoever comes to you with any design receives the highest fruit of eternal nectar. In all 4 ages your glory is sung, your fame enlightens the whole of creation. For saints and sages you are protector, beloved of Ram, demons destroyer. You patience and power. This boon was given you by Janaki Mother. You know the essence of devotion to Ram. In his service you will ever remain. By devotion to you the Lord is attained. Freedom from lifetimes of suffering is gained. At the time of death the Lord's abode is won. Any rebirth will be a pure devotion. Remembering any other deed is needless. Devotion to Hanuman brings all joy and bliss. Sufferings are dispelled, rebirth cycle cut. For those who remember Almighty Hanuman. Lord of my senses, Hanuman, hail to you. Bestow thy grace as does the Guru. For those who sing this 100 times, all bonds are broken, the highest joy they find. For those who read the Hanuman Chalisa, perfection is attained. The witness is Shiva, Tulsidas, eternal servant of the Lord, praise. Please make my heart into your home. Son of the wind, God, dispeller of distress, most auspicious in form, with Sita, Ram, and Lakshman. Please make my heart into your home. Hail the refuge of the feet of Sita Ram, the radiant form of the sun of the wind, eliminates all causes of affliction. Mangala Murati Marutananda Sakala Mangala Muranikanda. Śrī Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Śrī Ram Shri 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 Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki Jai. Namaste.